What's going on, mi gente? Casper Martinez here for LatinoFilmChatter.com. Uh, it's been a long weekend. It's been a quiet weekend when it comes to the ministers. As you guys saw, the past weekend has been pretty emotional and draining. Here in Latino Film Chat, I've said several things to AMC and Maya, which I'm not going to apologize for because people have to be held accountable for what they do. AMC initially denied that they had the ministers on 34th Street and Magic Johnson theaters, only to then recant on that and say, yes, we did, but we pulled it out and made an executive decision based on Maya releasing, showing us that they had no marketing presence for the movie, which is a legitimate business move. The only beef I have with AMC is the fact that they retracted and the fact that once going through all of it, you find out that AMC is run by a Latino and other parties try to make diffuse certain situations by making comments like, oh, well, AMC is not anti-Latino because the head of AMC is Latino. That just doesn't make it any better. It really doesn't. And you have to realize that when you say that, you're not really helping the wound. You're adding more salt to it. So please, um, uh, don't help the situation that way. Second, Maya releasing, once we started making these videos, reached out to LatinoFilmChatter.com and expressed that they did everything they could under their contractual obligation to Frank Reyes and the ministers, and that they are completely confident that they did the best. Although there's room for learning, and there are certain things that they admit to not really executing the right way, yet they never wanted to be specific as to what it was. They never specified on any issues whatsoever. Even when I asked about the budget in terms of marketing, it was the answer was capo, because I don't know why Montezuma keeps calling me capo, but capo, uh, that's between Frank Reyes and the contract I have with him, and that was exactly what he said. And then my thing was like, look, we already know what it was. I want to hear it from you. So finally, he admitted to spending more than $100,000, but from Frank Reyes' perspective, Frank says that Maya said they were going to give him this little bit of money, but they were going to give resources and outlet at a face value of 2 million. So if you're putting 2 million into marketing of a movie, it should have definitely had a presence. I heard from everyone in New York. I never saw commercials of the ministers because I first initially thought it was going to be national. Then we hear recently that it's just those four theaters. So my question then goes to everyone across the board with the Project of the Ministers. If it was going to be only four theaters, then the focal should have just been New York, and it should have been very concentrated, and it should have been every outlet out there. Everything from public access, from Brooklyn to the Bronx to Manhattan to Staten Island, college radio stations, the commercial radio stations, Sirius satellite, all those outlets should have been utilized and utilized strongly if Ministers was only going to release in four theaters in New York. Because I was really under the impression that it had some national distribution, and and that was not the case. And I think also Frank expected Maya to step up more than they actually did. And talking about stepping up, I also have to cover, in retrospect, that I am completely disgusted with a lot of the stuff that I see on these social networks, because there are a lot of people out there who are talkers. See, I do all this talking because I myself am learning as a filmmaker. The filmmaker side of me is learning from other people's mistakes and trying to figure out how it could have been done better. Because it's always easy to point fingers and say this one sucks and that sucks. But if you people look at a lot of my stuff, I'm not doing that. I'm creating awareness for the problem, and I'm trying to figure it out as well. When I spoke about the New York Latino Film Festival a couple of months ago, yeah, you know what? Some people might be like, ¿Qué tipo come mierda? Que mucho que habla mierda. But I'm raising genuine concern, and I'm trying to be a part of that difference. Just the same way here as ministers. I know there are some people out there who are going, ha ha ha, fucking Frank Reyes and his bullshit. Look, his movie fell apart. That's not gonna help anybody. That's not gonna help us as Latino filmmakers. If you're on that hater mode, then you know what? That's just ignorance. I'm learning, and I'm still learning, and I see that Maya releasing makes it difficult for filmmakers like us to get our fair share out there, because we do look at them as like, hey, if you claim to be the guys to be the distributors for Latino properties, then fucking don't drop the ball, because you drop the ball, it makes it harder for the rest of us. You guys here in these social networks, stop saying you're gonna support shit if you ain't gonna fucking go. Because there was a rally in 42nd Street, and I saw the usual suspects, which were us, Danny Hastings, Ivan, the Trig, Lynx, Paola, Louis Ramos, Frank Reyes, Ulysses Terrero, Will Knox, Carlos Barrios, the guys who either worked on the project or who are working on projects like this, who want to move stuff ahead. It wasn't a huge movement of like 200 angry Latinos at the fact that they shit on our movies. No, not at all. The majority of you either went to the Yankee game because it's okay to support the Yankees, but when it really counts to support Latino movies, that's not gonna happen. And then the rest of you went on either to see Paranormal or Jamie Foxx's movie. That's the truth. That's the reality. My brother went to the Whitestone. There were two people there, him and his wife. Michael Pagan, who I saw him blog about it or make the mention, he went to Whitestone too, earlier than my brother. There were 6, 7 people there. Liza Marie's mother went there to the Whitestone. She must have been in the same screening room, because she was like, there were 6, 7 people in this theater. So who really stepped up? For the premiere of The Ministers, habían 300 gatos ahí. And, to me, I feel that if those people could have been there for the free movie, they could have been there and paid for the movie. But I also saw that at the premiere as a minister, there's a bunch of people who haven't really earned their stripes, who are patting themselves on the back like they're superstars because they're doing little projects, local stuff that really nobody's getting to see except them and their friends. And that's something we gotta be careful about too, people, because algunas veces we give ourselves too much importancia, and then two, we start holding people in high regards and putting them on pedestals we don't need to be putting them on. I see a lot of people around Frank stroking him. Frank, you the man, you the man. Yeah, yo, you making it for us. Frank is just one guy trying to direct his visions and trying to get it out there. For us to be putting him on pedestals and praising him doesn't make it easier for the individual either. That's why I really don't like any of that red carpet bullshit, all that, because none of that means anything. What means is actions. When that rally was there Friday afternoon, who really stepped up and said, coño, Frank, you got CNN there, vamos a buscarte 2 o 3 cámaras más para que so you could get some local exposure out of it? Nobody. So you mean to tell me that if I'm not in New York, none of you, from the 10 years of Latino Film Festival, from all the Facebook individuals, from the Being Latinos, nobody else could get you a newspaper to write about it, or a local radio station to cover it, or several other local TV medias to coverage this? Like, to cover this, it just really bothers me. Like, that's the thing that I know how to step up with. That's the thing that I'm good at. That when I have friends who have projects or properties out there, I can make a call and get them on a radio station, or get them on a TV station, or get them a write up. All of you guys there in New York, y ninguno de ustedes pudieron hacer un carajo. I just find that really difficult to believe, man. Pero this is a learning experience. We're gonna move forward. Frank's gonna go and direct his next project, and the DVD of The Ministers is gonna come out, and people are gonna talk shit for the next couple of weeks, and that's okay, because my philosophy is, if I can talk my crap, other people have to talk theirs. Whether we choose to listen to it or not is on the individual. This is Casper Martinez for Latino Film Chatter. I'll be back later on, because I'm going to talk about which movies